So a couple of days ago, I got a chance to see a commercial for the World Cup. And I was impressed with the glitz and glamour and the anticipation of the upcoming games. And as the commercial was coming to a close, I start thinking, what kind of a woman attracts someone that is associated with a World Cup national team? I mean, this person that is associated with the World Cup team, they would have to be disciplined. They are used to high intensity, and they have the weight of their nation on their shoulders because that country wants them or expects them to win the game. And so my first thought was ambitious women. And what I've noticed about ambitious women is that they are exceptionally good at functioning alone. Not because they want to, but a lot of times it's because they have to. And then I start thinking, modern romances feel disconnected from reality because modern romance readers, and I am just as much of a romance reader as I am a romance author. You don't necessarily want the male character to save you. You want someone to emotionally meet you. And so I start thinking, how does this story start? You know, who are the characters? What's the setting? What would bring them together? And so I thought this would be something great to bring you as my viewer along with me to see how I think these things through when I am in the process of developing the characters, deciding the setting of the story, and the emotional tension that I want to have within the story that captivates you as a reader. So my first thought is this woman. Well, I am a Black American female. So of course, this is my first thought of this female character. And I start thinking, okay, you have this ambitious woman. Would this story take place here in the United States, or would it take place somewhere else? And side note, I happen to have gone to Paris, France a couple of months ago, and that was the first time I had been in France. And I got the opportunity to see firsthand the Stade de France. And my French viewers, I apologize if I said that wrong. But I was really captivated to see this stadium that the French World Cup team practices in. And I believe that the French team won their last World Cup in 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong, and put, if I am wrong, the correct year in the comments. But again, it got me to thinking, well, why not base this story in Paris? I mean, when you think of Paris, you think of romance. And for me, the setting says something just as much as the characters. So for me, France says romance. New York says ambition. Houston speaks resilience. So let's go with France. And like I said, this is the French World Cup team. I haven't decided if the female will be associated with the team, whether she be in France, as an expat working in France, long term, or if she's there, for a specified amount of time. We know that she is ambitious, and in my mind, she's emotionally intelligent. But I begin to think, is she in sales? Is she in marketing or advertisement? Is she in some type of medical capacity that has to work with the French team? She could even be, let's say, in some type of pharmaceutical sales, and she just happens to run across this particular male character. And then I start thinking, this is where the story development gets exciting for me, because you have all of these possibilities. Like, this is a sports romance trope. So I could go through, let's say, enemies to lovers, let's say the coach, player, or somebody that works in the corporate part of the French team, and a player. You could have the grumpy, optimistic trope, which you would have somebody that was either really mean or intensely focused, and they're attracted to somebody that's a hopeless optimist. You could have someone that is, I don't know. And again, I haven't, determined which trope this story is going to be. And again, this is something that I'm keeping open, that you as my viewer can share your thoughts in the comments. And I look forward to seeing it. So again, you have a Black, ambitious female that is in France for whatever reason. She runs across someone that is associated with the French soccer team, whether this person is a coach, a player, or again, someone that is behind the scenes. What emotionally connects them? This is my next thought, because you could have either one of them that is intensely focused, but they could be tired. In the case of the female, she is, accomplished, but would she be open to being soft? Or in her mind, would softness be like her showing something that she is not readily accustomed to showing? For the male character, he's used to being disciplined, having that intensity, having that added pressure. Would he be wanting to, being open to just a normal relationship, somewhere where he could be just John Doe, regular everyday person that doesn't have all of that extra intensity or the spotlight on them? So we have the male character that's associated with the World Cup team. We have the female character who is highly ambitious, emotionally intelligent. We know that the story is taking place in France, but I'm wondering what would change in this romance. It wouldn't necessarily just be somebody famous that meets a woman. It would become two emotionally controlled individuals that accidentally cross paths, and the story is how do they come together to build this romance. It's not necessarily about do they get together at the end, but it's the journey of how they get to that point. And that for me is what makes the story. So in the next video, I'm thinking we'll take it a step further and finesse the story. And we'll take your comments and add that into this series is what I'm seeing this as. So thanks for taking this initial step with me. And I look forward to us continue this discussion in another video.